We begin at the tip of the iceberg, the cases everyone's heard of. They've been in the headlines, in documentaries, in Reddit rabbit holes. But what if you don't know the whole story? Northern California, 1968. A couple sits in a parked car, lost in conversation. What they don't know is that someone's watching, waiting. A man approaches. He shoots them both, then disappears into the night. 1 year later, letters begin arriving at newspapers. Strange, rambling letters with cryptograms, taunts, and a new name, the Zodiac. I like killing people because it's so much fun, one note read. Over the next few years, the Zodiac would claim responsibility for 5 murders, though some believe he may have killed as many as 37. He sent dozens of letters to the press, some containing complex ciphers, others filled with bizarre symbolism. Police narrowed down suspects, even questioned a man named Arthur Lee Allen, but no one was ever charged. In 2021, a group of amateur codebreakers cracked one of the Zodiac's unsolved ciphers, revealing a chilling message. But the identity of the killer? Still a mystery. Even now, over 50 years later, some of his codes remain unbroken. Was it a lone madman? Or something bigger? Either way, the Zodiac vanished just as suddenly as he appeared, like a shadow, swallowed by the dark. May 3rd, 2007. Praia da Luz, Portugal. The McCann family is on vacation. Parents Jerry and Kate are enjoying dinner with friends just yards away from their rental apartment. Their 3 children are asleep inside, including 3-year-old Madeline. Every 20 minutes, one of the adults checks in on the kids. But at 10 p.m., Kate returns to the apartment, and Madeline is gone. No broken windows, no sign of struggle, just an open patio door and an empty bed. The case explodes into an international sensation. News crews swarm the resort. Theories spiral. Was it a kidnapping? A botched robbery? Something more sinister? The Portuguese police suspect the parents. British tabloids fuel rumors. Sightings pour in from Morocco to New Zealand. In 2013, Scotland Yard launches a new investigation, identifying new suspects and focusing on a German man with a criminal past. In 2020, a man known as Christian B. is officially declared a suspect, but no charges are filed. The mystery remains. No definitive proof, no body, no confession. Madeline McCann's face has become one of the most recognizable in modern history, yet the little girl behind the poster is still missing. 2 cases, 2 continents, 2 missing pieces of a puzzle that never fit. And that's just the surface. Next we go deeper, into cases you've seen online, but never truly understood. Welcome to Tier 2. You've seen them in TikTok clips. You've heard whispers on Reddit. These are the mysteries born in the digital age, where speculation spreads faster than evidence, and the truth gets buried. January 11th, 2013. Lowndes High School, Georgia. Students enter the gym and see something strange. A pair of white socks sticking out of a rolled-up wrestling mat. Inside the mat is 17-year-old Kendrick Johnson. Authorities say he climbed inside to retrieve a shoe and got stuck. An accident. But the injuries tell a different story. Kendrick's face is swollen, discolored. His organs are mysteriously missing, replaced with newspaper. 2 autopsies come back with conflicting conclusions. The coroner says blunt force trauma. The state says positional asphyxia. Surveillance footage, which could have shown what happened, is incomplete. Hours are missing. The FBI investigates, then closes the case. Years later, new evidence and pressure from the public reopen the investigation. But again, nothing. What really happened to Kendrick Johnson? Was it just a freak accident? Or is there a reason why the truth never made it out of that gym? Philadelphia, 1957. A hunter stumbles upon a cardboard box in a wooded area. Inside is the body of a young boy, malnourished, covered in bruises, wrapped in a blanket. He has no name. No one reports him missing. Police release photos, hoping someone recognizes him. Nothing. The media calls him America's unknown child. Theories explode. An orphan abused to death, a victim of illegal adoption, even a circus performer. In the 2000s, DNA testing brings a glimmer of hope. but still no match. Then in 2022, after more than 65 years, the boy is finally identified: Joseph Augustus Zarelli. A name, a face, but no killer. The public celebrates the breakthrough, but investigators admit the leads have run cold. After all these decades, we still don't know who hurt him. And worse, we might never find out why. One body in a gym, another in a box. Two timelines, two tragedies. But the same question lingers. If the truth is out there, why hasn't anyone told it yet? Next, we go deeper, to cases where the evidence tells two different stories, and neither one makes sense. These cases aren't buried in myth. They have bodies, timelines, evidence, but the facts don't agree with each other. And just when you think you've figured it out, the story changes. Adelaide, Australia, December 1st, 1948. A man is found dead on Somerton Beach, propped against a seawall. He's well dressed. No ID. His pockets are empty, except for one small, rolled-up slip of paper. It reads, "Tamam Shud," Persian, for it is finished. No one knows who he is. Dental records, fingerprints, no match. Weeks later, police find a hidden pocket in the man's pants. Inside is a tiny book, the Rubaiyat by Omar Khayyam. On the back cover, a handwritten code. 5 lines of random capital letters with no known cipher. Nearby, a man comes forward. He found the book in his car months earlier. How it got there, he doesn't know. Another lead points to a local nurse. When shown the body, she almost faints, but insists she doesn't know him. Some claim the man was a Cold War spy. Others think he was poisoned. In 2022, DNA technology suggests a possible identity: Carl Webb, an electrical engineer. But even if we have a name, we still don't have a cause of death, or a reason. And the code? Still unsolved. Germany, 1922. A small farmstead miles from the nearest town. Andreas Gruber, his wife, daughter, grandchildren, and their maid, all found brutally murdered, one by one, lured into the barn, and killed with a mattock. But the story starts before the murders. In the weeks leading up to the attack, the family heard footsteps in the attic. Keys went missing. A newspaper no one recognized appeared on the porch. Andreas told neighbors he believed someone was living in the house, in secret. After the murders, strange details emerged. The family dog was alive. Bread was recently cut. The cows were fed. Someone had been living in the house after the murders. Despite extensive questioning and hundreds of suspects, no one was ever arrested. Some theories say a vengeful neighbor did it. Others believe it was a soldier passing through. But the killer's identity and motive vanished into the snow, just like the footprints leading away from the barn. A mystery in the sand, a massacre in the snow, both with evidence, both with witnesses, and both with no one to blame. Next, we descend into the realm of the unbelievable, stories that sound made up, but aren't. Some mysteries sound too strange to be true. A man vanishes from a plane in midair. A woman dies with no name and no past. These aren't creepypasta stories. They're real, and no one has been able to explain them. November 24th, 1971, the day before Thanksgiving. A man in a suit boards Northwest Orient Flight 305 from Portland to Seattle. He orders a bourbon, hands the flight attendant a note. It reads, "I have a bomb." Calmly, he shows her a briefcase filled with wires and red cylinders. His demands, $200,000 in cash, for parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting in Seattle. The FBI complies. No one is hurt. The passengers are released. Then, just after takeoff for Mexico, he opens the rear stairway and jumps. Into the storm. Into history. The FBI launches one of the biggest manhunts in U.S. history. No trace. No parachute. 9 years later, a young boy finds $5,800 of the ransom cash buried on the banks of the Columbia River, degraded, but traceable. To this day, no one knows who he was. The man used the alias Dan Cooper, misreported as D.B. Cooper. Some think he died in the fall. Others say he escaped and lived out his life in secret. The case was officially closed in 2016 after 45 years. No fingerprints, no real name, just a myth, and a man who vanished into the sky. November 29, 1970, Isdalen Valley, Norway. A man and his daughters are hiking through the woods when they smell something burnt. They follow the trail and find her. A woman's body, badly burned, her hands clenched near her chest, as if she died in agony. Around her, scattered items, jewelry, a watch, melted boots, all with labels removed. Nearby, they find 2 suitcases at a train station. Inside, wigs, makeup, several fake passports. Every clue leads nowhere. Police release composite sketches, but no one claims to know her. Her teeth show dental work done in multiple countries. Her notebook contains secret codes and cryptic travel patterns. She used aliases to check into hotels, always asked for rooms with balconies, always changed identities. One theory says she was a spy, possibly for Mossad, the CIA, or KGB. Another suggests she was involved in illegal arms deals, but no evidence ever confirms it. Her cause of death? Possibly sleeping pills and carbon monoxide. But why burn her body? Why erase her past? She was buried in an unmarked grave, and for over 50 years, no one's known who she was. Just a woman who was everywhere and nowhere. A man who vanished into a storm. A woman who burned her identity to ashes. These aren't stories from a movie. They happened. And next, we go to the bottom of the iceberg, to the cases too dark to stay in the light. Welcome to Tier 5. You've heard the stories, but these are the ones you don't hear. Files go missing, witnesses go silent, and what little remains doesn't make sense. Welcome to the bottom of the iceberg. March 8, 2014. A Boeing 777 takes off from Kuala Lumpur en route to Beijing. 239 people are on board. At 1:19 a.m., the pilot says his final words to air traffic control. "Good night, Malaysian 370. Minutes later, the plane disappears from radar. In the hours that follow, chaos erupts. Malaysia's government hesitates to respond. Conflicting reports emerge. Was the plane over the South China Sea or the Andaman Ocean? Military radar data later shows the plane made a sharp left turn and flew west for over an hour. Then nothing. No mayday. No wreckage. In 2015, debris washes up on an island near Madagascar, confirmed to be from MH370. But the plane's black box, fuselage, and most of its parts are never found. Some believe the pilot hijacked the plane in a suicidal act. Others suggest a fire or mechanical failure. But the flight path was intentional. Someone was flying the plane long after it lost contact. Did someone turn off the tracking systems? Was it a cover-up, a military incident, or something else entirely? The official investigation, the most expensive in aviation history, ends in 2018, with no answers. MH370 remains the greatest aviation mystery of the 21st century, and for the families of the missing, it's a wound that never closed. August 7, 1994, Oakville, Washington. A strange rain begins to fall, not water, but a jelly-like substance. Within 24 hours, nearly everyone in town falls ill. Flu-like symptoms, trouble breathing. The local police officer collects samples and sends them to a lab. The findings: the blobs contain human white blood cells. They appear to be biological in origin, but not from any known creature. The sample disappears. The state health department denies involvement. Over the next few weeks, the blobs rain down 5 more times. A private lab discovers bacteria in the samples, but still can't explain what they are. Theories arise. Was it a military experiment gone wrong? A bioweapon test? A freak atmospheric event? The U.S. Air Force had been conducting training in the area. Locals remember planes flying low overhead before the rain. Some speculate it was fallout from weapons testing. Others think it came from the sea. But the samples are lost. The story disappears from the news. To this day, no one knows what fell from the sky. But Oakville remembers. a vanished flight, a toxic rain. These aren't just strange stories. They happened. But when answers get too close to the truth, someone always turns off the lights. This was the Unsolved Crimes Iceberg. Which level chilled you the most?